Now let's talk about Formula One Manager 24. So obviously we've announced that
Zaczynamy.
it's releasing on July 23rd. It's available to pre-order right now. And we released the gameplay trailer, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. It's really cool. So we're going to play it for you now, and then we're going to get into a little bit more detail. Have a look.
Będzie coś nowego, czy ten, który znamy?
Welcome to F1 Manager 2024. A new Formula One season is underway, and this year's game is the most feature-rich experience to date. For the first time in the series, line up on the grid as a new 11th team with Create a Team mode. Choose from a range of origins or fold your own path and tailor your starting finances, facilities, performance and staff. Hire the seasoned veterans of F1, invest in the stars of the future, or choose from newly generated drivers and staff. Name your team, pick your brand colors, and build your team's identity using the in-depth logo editor. Customize the look of your car, race suits, and helmet via the livery editor. Negotiate lucrative
kombinacji jest dużo.
the updated sponsorship system and build their brands into your liveries. Create your own journey and challenge the grid to take your place in the pantheon of F1 greats. The dramatic world of F1 comes to life on and off the track with the brand new mentality system. Managing the personalities and needs of your staff and drivers now makes all the difference in your pursuit of points. Favoring a driver can create unwanted friction. Poor performance may leave your staff demotivated. Deliver results on and off the track to satisfy your team's demands to ensure their heads stay in the game. Your management style is the key to success. The new Affiliate Drivers feature enables you to build a legacy by fostering talents from F2 and F3.
O, to jest ta kopia, która nam Kacpra sztukę skasowała.
Access the stars of the future and ensure their success is your success. The F1 paddock is a fierce landscape.
Jeszcze twierdziła, że to jego wina. Cześć, Janusz.
Poach your talent this year, disrupting your team's trajectory towards the top. Keep the board on side by delivering results to continue your ascent, or have your leadership called into question and be forced to take a step down the pecking order. In Formula One, even the best laid strategies can end at the first turn. The introduction of mechanical failures this year delivers dynamic races with ever-evolving challenges and opportunities. Pushing cars to the edge lap after lap will exact a toll. Can you mitigate these issues as they arise to stay on track? Ensure that you are in a position.
Jestem ciekaw tylko, czy z tymi usterkami nie przesadzą.
Circuit visuals have also been upgraded for F1 Manager 2024. Marbling and enhanced use of real-world data mean that
tory ładniej wyglądają. Ale to już też wiemy.
No matter the weather or time of day. Utilize a brand new strategic perspective with Helicam, giving you a bird's eye view when drivers execute your commands. F1 Manager 2024 is the most feature-rich experience to date and promises to test your management credentials both on and off the track when the game releases on the 23rd of July 2024.
Nice. 23 lipca.
There we go, and I think the trailer looks incredible. So, now we've seen the trailer, I think we should have a bit of a deep dive. So the wonderful Alex from our PR team dipped in and had an interview with some of our developers because I was off sick last week. I wasn't very, very well. So thank you so much for Alex for stepping in last week. I think he's done a great job. So let's have a look at that interview right now.
Hello, Frontier Unlocked, and thank you very much for the intro, Arthur. My name is Alex. I'm one of the PR managers here at Frontier, and it is my honour and also a terrifying privilege to give you a first look at the wonderful new creator team tools in F1 Manager 2024. So, luckily,
to połowa sezonu, Katarzyn, więc tak akurat mi wychodzi, że koniec lipca.
So, can we just kind of give a little quick intro who you are, what you do at Frontier?
So I'm Matt. I'm the art director for the project.
I'm Alex. I'm an associate engineering manager on programming team.
And I'm Carlos. I'm a senior data designer.
Fantastic. So without further ado, let's get started with the brand new creator team mode coming to F1 Manager 2024. I guess first of all, while I start setting this up, why,
No dobra, zobaczmy.
why we added Create a Team to the game this year?
6 skórek będzie do wyboru na różne wyścigi, dobrze to rozumiem?
One of the big things I think that both we as fans and the community want is to be able to sort of, you know, build your dream team. It's really fun to play the official teams, but it's something that everyone dreams about, is obviously building their own F1 team, and this is the feature that delivers it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, speak for everyone that's an F1 fan out there, when we've all been growing up as kids watching the sport, and you get really into like the idea of like creating your own team, creating your own livery and things like that. So starting off then, so we obviously would change the team name there to Frontier Unlocked Racing, very official. But we also have these origins at the bottom here. So we're gonna continue with the Your Story one. But I'm just going to sort of click through the different team origins here, so that the you know, audience back home get to have a look at all these. But team origins.
A, te scenariusze, nie ten, czyli no dobra, co mamy zrobić?
So if I can take that one, I think that's we thought that was a cool starting point for players that just want to engage with the story straight away without spending a lot of time on creating their own and trying to go through all the presets, all the selections they have to make.
Jak Feniks z popiołów.
We did take some inspiration, not gonna lie, from real life events in F1, things that we've seen in the past happen, some of the trends when there is a new team coming in, what they look like, what kind of resources they have. So, for example, we have their automotive legacy, so that's one where this is a team that's well established. They've been in motorsports before, so they get a default kind of set start. So they have, you can see at the bottom, they have 3 pips for each of those 4 different presets or different steps in the setup phase. Then you have others like the technical breakthrough, which takes inspiration. If you think about Braun GP in 2009, that's basically what happened. So they had a really good car. They had not very good, you know, resources back at HQ and back home, but they had really good staff and they had competent drivers. So
jakby komuś się nudziła normalna gra, to może sobie zapodać jakiś z tych scenariuszy.
And take inspiration from that.
Fantastic. So when we're picking these team origins, obviously some of these sections of the Create a Team section are going to be closed off. They're locked because this is a preset team origin. It's a particular challenge that the player might want to take on if you're a fan there. And like you say, if the automotive legacy one that Carlos has just been talking about there sounds of interest to you, then some of these elements will be set up for you already. We're going to go for Your Story because everyone back at home would want to click every single button on this screen, so I am going to make sure that we do that. So we're going to move now into team setup. So this is something that you get with your own team origin setup. So while I just sort of move through some of the options here, can we just sort
to
of
będzie kuszące, z jakiego poziomu wystartować.
About setting your team up and the sort of different restrictions you can place on yourself here.
Yeah, I'll have this one as well. So exactly. You can just choose your own story, choose how much balance you can choose, go any facilities you want, and see how good is your car. And especially, yes, you can fine-tune all your buildings and just select exactly what level you go for. It's worth mentioning that we have obviously three different tabs over there, and then you just choose within the tab. You can't apply points from one tab to another because obviously, like having the operational facilities, they're not going to be as
punkty do rozdzielenia każdej kategorii.
Development facilities, because that's like really expensive buildings, because otherwise you can just disable helipad and build more design centers. So yeah, this one you can just go within.
I'm putting all my points in memorabilia room.
I would go for helipad. That's my personal choice.
Yeah. we're going to be fully
proszę,
set up.
Katarzyn, fajna nagroda.
100% going to win with me at the helm here.
Very confident. Love it.
So yeah, and then we also have the car performance as well there. So I guess that affects sort of how we are coming into that first race weekend of the year. You know, are we right at the back of the grid? Do we want to be, you know, 21st and 22nd, moving our way right up the grid order, or do we want to kind of come back in and surprise everybody by being in that front pack.
O, tutaj ten start trzeba będzie bardzo mocno przemyśleć.
Again, it's all about giving the players the opportunity to create their own story, but they can also decide what kind of challenge they want to have for multiple playthroughs. So sometimes they might decide, okay, I'm going to go low on everything, you know, really test myself against the best.
Hamilton z Leclerciem jakoś.
A quick start, be almost as good as Red Bull. And
w nowym teamie jakoś tego nie widzę, ale okej.
The offers we have, the choice we have.
Fantastic. And so I've just moved into the next section where we're going to pick our drivers and staff. Now, conveniently, we have ended up with the Ferrari lineup for next season paired together. But we do have this sort of randomized option, randomized staff options as well, where we can use generated drivers.
O, to jest ciekawe.
Just this to affect all the different team members. So I'm going to go and I'm going to change out a couple of drivers here. So something that we've seen after the fantastic trailer was released recently was people coming back to us and saying, well, can the quality of the driver be impacted by our budget, right? So I guess in the creator team, the sort of team origin section of that, we're able to set our own limitations, right? We can pick drivers from F2, F3, etc. But within the pre-selected.
Ale dobrze, że mamy do dyspozycji wszystkich kierowców, a nie na przykład tylko tych, którzy się godzą, bo no, mógłby być problem wystartować.
3-star or 3-pip drivers. So in this particular mode, you're free to change that rating and pick from people that are, you know, fantastic or just starting out their careers. If you go with the team origins, these things are more limited, so it forces you into picking certain categories of drivers. So again, there's multiple ways you can play it. You can set your own limits in here, or you can pick an origin that kind of aligns with the story that you want to go with.
Fantastic. I think we're going to go for Liam Lawson. We showed him off in the last Frontier Unlocked, but I think Lawson and Leclerc.
Liam jako pierwszy, a Leclerc jako drugi kierowca.
And then we also have obviously all the different staff as well there that we're able to jump in and edit ourselves. And then we move on to powertrain selection. So I guess with mechanical failures coming in this year, this has a much greater kind of implication for the player, right? You know, last year it was a decision on power and durability, but and the efficiency. So the durability really kind of plays into that a lot more this year.
Yeah, so that's true, of course. Like now when you have a chance of your engine failing, like you might want to consider going for more durable engine. Which ones are currently more durable? Is it going to be the Mercedes one? Yeah.
Historically it's been,
100% durability, or 100 durability at least. I mean, obviously...
Yes, those are not percentages, those are just ratings.
Yes, absolutely. And something to flag here as well, before we get too far into this, is that this is taken from a development build, as it says at the top of the screen. So a bunch of these assets and ratings...
Dobra, ale ja tam nigdzie nie widziałem, żeby był jakikolwiek koszt zatrudnienia kierowcy. Bo generalnie płace kierowców nie wchodzą w budżet.
Because I know we've built our team throughout this.
Więc może dlatego tego nie uwzględnili.
All the foundations in. This is me as like a 5-year-old F1 fan sat like drawing liveries on outlines. I am going to try and recreate a kind of Frontier Unlocked brand. It's going to probably go horribly wrong, but luckily the team are kind of going to talk you over the top of what we're doing here. And hopefully I make something that looks vaguely good when it goes on track.
If it's really good, we'll add it.
Józiowy zrób, józiowy.
Chat, so I hope you all hold the team to that. So we've got, we can adjust the sort of colors here. So these are like the colors that are going to...
Przypuszczam, Katarzyn, że na start będzie, wiesz, coś na zasadzie 2-letniego kontraktu.
Like everything, we've tried to give the player as much customization as possible. So the team colors are kind of like the top
level colors. Bo wiesz, sezon startuje i dużo czasu nie masz, nie?
Your garages, your pit walls, your gantries, and all those sorts of like really high level team things. And then obviously you've got the slightly sort of more focused stuff in both the drivers and the cars. So you can go crazy and make something that's wild and outlandish and everything's very sort of unconnected, or you can go for something and theme everything using the same colors and make it very coherent and branded. It's up to you again.
So here we are, our sort of, I guess, our blank canvas to start from. So just talk us through presets.
Są jakieś presety.
Obviously, I can very quickly change the look of my car here.
So with the presets, what we've done is try to give players, again, like an interesting base they can start with. So again, maybe not everyone that plays the game is wanting to sit here and spend some time designing their car, and they just want to pick something that looks good. So we've built some presets already for you, so you can pick from those. You can edit the presets as well, so you might just find that they're a good place to start, give you some ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. But because I'm a design professional, obviously I'm going to start.
Dużo jest tych ustawień, to mi się podoba.
So we've got a mix here of
to też fajne.
Kind of your traditional kind of
jest Red Bull, to malowanie takie sprzed sezonu.
Some kind of like camo inspired ones here. There's one with a tiger on the side, which is incredible. Yeah, there's also the kind of wheel patterns as well. So you know, how much sort of creativity is there for players really to play around? And do you guys have, while I'm doing this and you know, hopefully getting some tips from you guys,
przecież ja będę 2 godziny konfigurował to wszystko przed pierwszym live'em.
So like obviously we try to give as much as possible options for player to change, and you can see here you already played with different finish.
No dokładnie, Katarzyn, dokładnie.
Obviously reflect light differently, look differently in different conditions. There's also, if you scroll there, you can get into the carbon fiber effect, which is really fun, really cool, if you ask me.
Oh, fantastic.
Again, you can't change the color on that one, but it looks very cool.
I dużo karbonu.
And probably the biggest one, the most coolest effect you see is the gradient, because that one gives you like so much more power at changing the colors. Yes, exactly.
Oż kuźwa. To nie będą 2 godziny.
You can change.
To będzie więcej godzin.
I think there is also the radial one as well. Again, basically you have more than 3 colors. You have like 6 colors basically in the game, and yeah, you can apply. And in the bottom you can see your recent created colors. So for example, you have your purple, so you can apply your Frontier Unlocked purple in your car.
Oh, lovely.
I like this pattern lock, by the way.
Yeah, it's. I think I started off with a bold
Ja pierdzielę, z tym to dowalili.
Oh, this looks
podoba mi się.
More gaudy than I was probably going for, but you know, no one can tell me that this isn't going to stand out on the grid, which is good. So let's just. Oh, I quite like that. Actually, we can drop them on the end there.
Biało-józiowy też fajny.
Finishes there as well, which again I really like. That we're able to pop those on there. So let me just pop that a little bit more red actually, because the Frontier Unlocked red, I've got producer Adam in the corner kind of pointing the colours out to me, so we'll go with that then. So then that's our car livery, but also that spans across the driver's suit as well, right? So I can go in, we obviously have the preset for those as well. But we,
no to już jest mniejszy wybór. I chyba powiem na szczęście. Mówię o ilości presetów. Ale też kierowcę widzimy tam tylko w tych filmikach, nie? I tak będzie się z czym bawić.
We made sure it was as open and flexible and as accessible as possible. So we want to make sure that if you've got a very specific idea of what you want, you can jump right in and make it.
Kurde, ale z tym gradientem to fajnie wygląda.
You can still go in and express yourself. So it's we like to call these sorts of things nested complexity. But what it actually means is basically we want people with a range of abilities and interests to jump right in. And if you look at the history of F1, I mean all the liveries and the cars that have existed through time. The variety is huge. It's really important that players can make their favourite one, because it isn't necessarily everyone's favourite one.
Yeah, I love that the gradient stuff kind of comes across the helmets as well. Really cool that we can change that. And these, when you match
dodatkowych 5 malowań w wersji Deluxe. No, coś takiego pisali, że ma być coś więcej.
But I really like this kind of like soft blend into the front. It's really cool, particularly on like the suits and the helmets, where you can create that kind of like flowing color look. I sound like I'm talking about when it comes to design. I have not the foggiest chat. but no one is telling me off yet, so that must mean I'm doing a good job.
No, and that's the beauty of it, I think.
Logo, to mnie interesuje. I pytanie, czy moderzy będą mogli dodać jeszcze jakieś. Tutaj będzie duże pole do popisu, jeżeli moderzy będą mogli dodać.
So the rest of the suit, you can have the suit looking different to the car, and it's really up to the player to decide what to do. So
fantastic. And now, obviously, right, we've got the look of the car, we've got the look of the drivers and the helmets. So now we're moving on to the logo. So the kind of like, badge of the team's identity. We've got a couple of presets here, but we do also have a little Frontier Unlocked logo that we made ourselves, kind of in the style of like popular British TV shows. Here's one we made earlier. But we can go in, we can edit all of these layers. So if I wanted to, I guess if I wanted to
kuźwa.
color of these, for example.
Będzie ten photoshopowane, a w zasadzie Corel Draw.
And there's sort of scale in there. But I guess if I just go through and sort of look at these, have you seen some quite creative logos within the internal teams at the moment? I think I've seen a couple of screenshots where people have sort of really gone out to either replicate something from the past or like created something entirely like unique to themselves. So yeah, it really cool to see all these, and like the little light letters as well. We could put on like a little like Frontier Unlocked F.
When you say little.
Yeah, that's quite big, but handily that caveats us into the fact that you can scale and move all these around. And this like scaling tool, this applies to the
Co? Zapraszam Was w dniu premiery F1 Menadżera 2024 na 5-godzinny live, gdzie nie będzie ani jednego wyścigu, tylko będę tworzył swój własny zespół, logo, malowanie.
The sponsorship editor, right?
Absolutely. So again, like we've touched on before, we've tried to make sure that there's a common way of doing everything. So these sort of manipulators, as we like to call them, are common across multiple areas of the game where you have to move things around in 2D or 3D space. The color sort of systems are the same. This is hopefully familiar to anyone that's sort of worked with layer-based editors before, so you can kind of stack these things up and move them around and make ever more complex and interesting shapes.
Oh yes, because there is the
Widać, że te linie się nie pokrywają, nie? Te proste kreski z tym kółkiem i łukiem nie do końca są zgrane, ale
unique bespoke logos, and you are much more creative than I am, then you are able to do that as well. So that is our team logo that's done, that's on the floor there. We've got our beautiful car, which I'll be honest, I think when I started designing it in my head, it might have looked slightly different to this, but hey, you know what, we're going to roll with it. So our final little bits to tweak here, we have the guidance and the career difficulty. So do we want to just touch really briefly on difficulty, something that obviously came to the game last year, post-launch, but people might not have seen this at all before. So career difficulty, how do you kind of choose where to go with that?
Well, I think it's obviously depends how much challenge you want. It's worth noting exactly we've added in during the previous game, and we have expanded, and we have obviously it supports new features like mechanical failures, and then of course team AI is also been improved a lot. So I would recommend, of course, starting with standards, high if you want a little more challenge, and then go for easy if you think you just want to see your team like winning. It's still not going to be like super easy, of course. It still be a challenge, but yeah, I think you should go for high.
I think what's nice though here is
to chyba będzie najszybsza zakładka. A co w tym race idzie zmienić? Jeszcze pokażcie.
So I think there's people out there that really enjoy the race element and they want to make that really hard and they don't want to focus too much on their car development, or vice versa, people that are really sort of into how they develop
nie pokazali.
Kind of gives you that ability to again fine tune how you want to experience the game.
Fantastic. So as we kind of move into the start of the season, we've got our two drivers, we've got our car ready for development. We will be going through a lot more of this in a lot more detail.
Pozmieniało się to menu. Ładniejsze jest.
But I just want to say firstly,
mniejsze ikonki.
Thank you guys for joining me, for sort of steering me through my first livery creator and the creator team section of the game. I am unbelievably excited to see players unleash their inner child when they.
Proszę, Leclerc ma inżyniera od Maxa Verstappena.
Passion for F1 to life. So that's your first look at Create to Team. As we mentioned at the start there, the game assets and ratings out final. So you might have noticed Valtteri Bottas sneaking into my livery and logo editor there. He clearly just really wants to be part of the team. Valtteri, I am always here for you if you need me. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to Arf in the studio.
There we go. So that was a great interview by Alex. So thank you so much, Alex, for stepping in at the last minute. An absolute pro. So we get some love in the chat for Alex and the devs for that interview. It was really well done. Thank you so much, Alex and the devs. But whilst we had the developers locked down, there's a load of AI enhancements going into Formula 1 Manager 24. So we thought we'd take the time to get them talk you through just some of them. And we have a video of that too. So have a look at this.
Yeah, so of course we have added difficulty options. Last year, post-launch is a patch to F1 Manager 2023, and you can select from several difficulty options, and you can obviously change difficulty options separate for race management and race sim. During the races, it will determine how they react to the things that are happening during the race, and they will choose the exact same options that you player have, so that how much you push in the car, how much you save fuel. I feel good. How they react to the safety cars and stuff like this, and anything that happens during the race really. They will also react to the player options as well. If you push, they will try to push as well to catch up with you, to get from DRS range and stuff like that.
Yeah, and obviously those decisions.
No, czyli będzie się działo w wyścigach. No, w dobrą stronę to idzie.
Long-term season planning for those teams as well. So the team management side, that's all. All those decisions are impacting the teams, the AI teams, as well as the players' teams when it comes to leaving.
Podoba mi się to nowe menu.
So if we think if they push too much on powertrain components, if they've done a lot of pushing during the race to get positions, then that obviously is going to have an impact on how much they wear, and that gets transported to team management. So penalties might come when the season is finishing. Obviously, the AI in terms of team management, there's been a lot of.
W trakcie gry będzie można zmienić poziom. Nieźle.
Which drivers to hire, how much teams invest in facilities and so on is controlled by difficulty levels as well. So the easier the player.
Redwine zaraz pójdziesz do noszenia wody, spokojnie.
Leeway they'll have to surpass other teams that perhaps don't invest as much and don't make those decisions as good and as effective as a player. Yeah, so in terms of driver poaching, the player can absolutely counter-offer. So the offers and the dilemmas will come through emails. The player will receive one as soon as there is an offer for one of their drivers. That kickstarts the flow of the poaching process, so there will be a back and forth. The driver might be more inclined to accept that offer from the rival team. There's also an impact from mentality on this. So if you're managing your driver really well and they're happy where they are, then they're less likely to accept that offer. But if they're not, then obviously the player can try and still renegotiate the contract they have with the current driver and sign them for a few more years and keep everyone happy. So in terms of poaching and what we're introducing for F1 Manager 24, the offers will come mid-season, so the player will receive offers for drivers as they come during the season. As we've seen with Hamilton and Ferrari for 25, that is something we're going to represent in game. So the offer will come at some point in the season. The player can then have the option to renegotiate if they want to and try and re-sign that driver and make them happy. But there will be a lot of considerations around when those offers happen, how aggressive the other
no, to też jest ciekawa opcja.
With their offers. So again, difficulty options have a big impact on that, so other teams might be more aggressive in terms of trying to poach the best drivers or the most promising drivers as well. This happens for both the players' team and other rival teams as well, other AI teams. So if we say the player is Mercedes, Alpine are trying to poach one of the drivers, that means that Alpine will potentially be trying to sign one of the Ferrari drivers and just have a full pool of drivers to select from. So this will be constant during the season. The AI teams will then try to sign drivers for the following seasons as well, and yeah, it's going to be very dynamic.
Yeah, so I've been working quite hard on the car behavior for F1 Manager 2024. We have lots of improvements just to make it look more realistic and closer to the reality. We have made improvements for car smoothness around the track, how it goes around the corners, and also how it's recovering from the incidents. So it will try to recover as fast as possible. Of course, if it didn't crash or anything like this.
Kurde, ładnie to wygląda.
You should lose less time when going back into the track. And another thing we added is what we call the squeeze out behavior. So you'll see way more battling into a corner side by side. And if your car and driver is aggressive, or maybe you tell them to be aggressive, they will squeeze out the other car out of the corner,
się tak
and then you'll see
świeci.
sometimes you'll be forced out of the track, or maybe you'll force someone else into the track.
Yeah, so Team Affiliates, really excited about this new addition for F1 Manager 24. Obviously in 23 we had reserve drivers as well. This year we expand that system to include a lot of other drivers across a lot of different ages, a lot of different categories as well.
O, możemy mieć więcej kierowców, tak? Całą taką swoją szkółkę.
Will be assigned to an affiliate in affiliate position in F1 Manager 2024. So the player will be able to sign affiliate drivers to one of those positions. There's 10 slots currently in game planned for each team. So if a player starts with a custom team, as in we've seen from Create a Team, then they'll have those 3 slots to fill if they so wish. Obviously, finances will be key for this as well, because obviously those new affiliate drivers cost money to
Katarzyna, już nie chciałem nic więcej mówić na temat Sofii.
Is an opportunity to develop a young driver, to work with them, train them to get them where you want them to be when it comes to then take one of the main race seats for the following season. So really exciting new feature. This is also going to add a lot of new faces and names to the game, which is obviously something we try and do.
O, i to też jest dobre, bo wiemy w co celować, czy się zgodzi, czy nie.
As much as possible, and this was a really good way for us to provide that authenticity, so players can now
Oj kurde, dużo tych zmian.
I don't know, an all-British team of Aston Martin with Hamilton and maybe even Abby Pulling, let's say, from the Alpine Academy, sign those drivers, have a full British team with staff as well, and that just gives the players a lot of tools to play with. So yeah, really exciting new feature we're adding for F1 Manager 2024. Yeah, so in F1 Manager 2024, the AI teams will have the opportunity to fill their affiliate slots as well and recruit using poaching, which is also something new for this year's game. So the AI teams will have an option to go, there's a few variables going into it, but the 2 main ones are obviously ability and potential. So if they're really high rated, the team in cause has a lot of money, a lot of resources to put behind their affiliate slots, then they might go for one of the most promising drivers or staff members as well, because this applies for drivers and staff in 24. The other variable is obviously the potential of that driver, so things like age, how good they are already in ability and overall rating, but also some considerations around mentality, how promising they are, where they are as well. If they're racing in feeder series, for example, they get a little bonus in terms of their development. So all those considerations are part of the AI system, which should be very smart in making those decisions depending on difficulty options as well. And so, yeah, this will apply to the player, but this will obviously also apply for the AI teams. Yes, so with the affiliate driver system that we're implementing for F1 Manager 2024,
czy to AI się będzie uczyć?
Be able to elect one of those drivers to run in FP1, take one of the main driver seats, and boost the development, which is really interesting dynamic in the game. The AI teams will also use those drivers in FP1 at varied points in the season. This will happen quite frequently, and yeah, the AI teams will also get the benefits from those drivers racing in FP1, getting that experience, those laps under their belt, which is a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, so Mechanical Failures is a brand new feature in F1 Manager 2024, and you can develop mechanical failures during the race, and so can your rivals, and you can take advantage of that So you start noticing when sometimes the AI cars.
Dzień dobry, zastałem Wiolkę.
They don't push as much. And this is your chance to overtake them. And then, of course, they can do the same to you as well. But yeah, you can develop variety of different mechanical failures on your powertrain, like being your ERS, your gearbox, or your engine. And yeah, I hope you really like this new feature.
W jakim stanie był ten silnik?
So there's a variety of factors that can impact the mechanical failures in F1 Manager 2024. There's several, so some of them is temperature, wear, and also running over the curbs. And then you can see how much risk you have. And it's all about risk-reward, really. You can see how much risk you have for mechanical failures to develop. And of course, you can keep pushing and then run into the chance of developing mechanical failures, or you can try to conserve.
No to teraz już nie będzie można cisnąć cały wyścig.
Without any mechanical failures happening, but of course you won't be able to overtake as much. And towards the end of the race,
25%.
That you have a chance of your powertrain to completely fail, or maybe you can try to push and just to get to the end of a race.
And if that failure is terminal, then that might give players a bit of a flashback. If there's any Hamilton fans, 2016 Malaysia, that's exactly what can happen now in the game. Obviously for the players' teams and the AI teams as well. So again, risk-reward, it can happen to you, can happen to others, and it really should create dynamic championship standings as well.
Cześć Krynia, to jest bardzo dobry pomysł.
So in this brand new feature in my F1 Manager 2024, in mechanical failures, you can have different severities of the mechanical failures happen during the race. And of course, you start with being minor and then progressing into a major. So for example, you can have a minor failure on the RS, which will hamper how much energy you can harvest and deploy. Or maybe it will cause your ERS to reboot.
To mam wrażenie, że już w jakimś stopniu było wprowadzone, tylko nie mieliśmy graficznego potwierdzenia.
Can de-escalate after the race, or can escalate during the race. So if you keep pushing, you just run into a greater chance of really having a terminal fault in your engine and retiring from the race. So this mechanic adds, of course, much more choices to your play style during the race sim. And if you have a mechanical failure on your engine, do you decide to keep pushing? Do you decide to keep using this part or buying a new one? And of course, you always run into a chance of having a terminal mechanical failure on your engine, and this will affect.
Mam nadzieję, że mają to dobrze przetestowane i że ten system jest dobrze zbalansowany. Bo może się okazać, że przez pierwsze wyścigi nie przyjedziemy w punktach i nie będziemy mieli więcej części.
So thank you very much, Alex and Carlos, for providing about all the info about some of the AI enhancements coming to F1 Manager 24, which of course I've mentioned is already available to pre-order right now, and it's released on July 23rd. And on screen you should be looking at all the pre-order now deluxe version and all the extra gubbins you get with that. So have a look. If it's of interest, please pre-order right now. So there we go. That's all the F1 Manager 24 stuff done and dusted for this show. Now we're going to move on to our final segment where I spent some time with Zach. But before that, I mean, I think you know what we're going to talk about.
Koniec.
I dropped a very subtle hint about what the next ship was going to be in Elite Dangerous. It was the
Chyba tak.
So I took some
Dobra,
time.
to mogę pana wyciszyć i podsumujmy to, co się dowiedzieliśmy. Datę premiery i cenę już znamy od jakiegoś czasu. Zobaczyliśmy, jak będzie wyglądało zakładanie własnego teamu. No i muszę przyznać, że tutaj rozwalili system. Jest naprawdę masę tych opcji i coś mam wrażenie, że to faktycznie potrwa kilka godzin konfigurowanie tego wszystkiego, żeby zrobić sobie taki piękny team bolid. Począwszy od nazwy, poprzez malowanie bolidu, stroje, kaski, logo, no jest tego w opór. Mnie się to bardzo, bardzo podoba. No i dowiedzieliśmy się trochę też o nowościach. Jest nowe, fajne menu, wygląda dużo czytelniej, jest mniejsze. Fajnie wyglądają te negocjacje z kierowcami, że dają nam znać, że jakiś team próbuje ich podkupić. Wcześniej tego nie było, po prostu to raczej to my wykonywaliśmy ruch, albo po sezonie dowiadywaliśmy się, jakie nastąpiły zmiany w stawce, a teraz będzie ciekawiej z tymi negocjacjami kontraktów. Będziemy mogli założyć szkółkę swoich kierowców. Jak dobrze pamiętam, tam chyba jest 10 miejsc. Będą mogli jeździć w F2, F3, F4, w zależności gdzie tam znajdziemy dla nich miejsce i szkolić sobie przyszłych kierowców. Opcja fajna i ciekawa, tylko ja się zastanawiam, czy ja ją wykorzystam. Bo jak pokazuje historia, to między jedną edycją a drugą gram maksymalnie 3 sezony, więc chyba będzie trochę mało czasu, żebym mógł sobie wyszkolić młodocianych kierowców do naszego teamu. Ale jest to na pewno, jest to ciekawe. No i cały system tych usterek w trakcie wyścigu. Jeżeli będziemy cisnąć cały wyścig, jest szansa, że nie ukończymy wyścigu, bo rozwalimy silnik czy DRS, nie będziemy mogli w pełnej energii odbierać. No robi się z tego naprawdę taki coraz bardziej menadżer, taki, że się tak kolokwialnie wyrażę, menadżer pełnym pyskiem. Tych opcji jest coraz więcej. No mają pole do popisu, bo do tej pory F1.22, F1 Manager 22 to była dosyć taka prosta gierka. W F1 Managerze 23 już parę takich opcji doszło, ale generalnie no dla mnie osobiście ta gra nie stanowi żadnego większego problemu, no może poza szkoleniem mechaników. Tego tematu nie rozgryzłem do dzisiaj. I znów sobie powtarzam, trzeba do tego przysiąść, bo w F1 Managerze 2024 już się pojawi tyle tych opcji, że jak się teraz tego nie nauczę, to kurczę, chyba przy F1 Managerze 2024 nie będzie na to czasu. Ja się jaram. Z roku na rok ta gra naprawdę dostaje coraz więcej opcji. Mnie się to podobuje. Cóż jeszcze można dodać? Czaty, zapomniałem o czymś w podsumowaniu? Bardzo fajne, bo mega strategie i trzeba ryzykować. No nie, właśnie to trzeba gdzieś wyważyć. Widzę, że mój internet się zaczyna buntować, ale jeszcze daje radę. Trzeba będzie to wyważyć, kiedy atakować, a nie cisnąć, tak jak ja robiłem w 22 i 23, że dolewałem sobie więcej paliwka i przez 1/3 wyścigu jechałem na bogatym paliwie. Teraz może się okazać, że to nie będzie taka dobra strategia. Lżejszy bolid, szybszy na starcie. No, trzeba będzie tam się mocniej przełączać między tymi wszystkimi opcjami. Będziemy mieli graficznie pokazane zużycie silnika, ERS-u w trakcie wyścigu. No, zapowiada się naprawdę grubo i ja coraz bardziej nie mogę się doczekać tej premiery. 23 lipca, więc jeszcze mamy niecałe 2 miesiące. Niecałe 2 miesiące. No ja czekam z niecierpliwością. No i co? Tu pozdrawiamy YouTube'a. Zostawcie łapkę w górę, zostawcie komentarz, co myślicie. I tyle. Żegnam się z YouTubami. Do zobaczenia. Cześć.
Dziękujemy wam za ten występ, za to, że byliście z nami przed monitorami. My nazywamy się 4 Dziki. Raz, 2, 3, 4. Zajebiście, że przyszliście. Ja to znam, mówię wam. Jak przyszliście, to jest zajebiście. Zajebiście, że przyszliście. Ja to znam, mówię wam. Jak przyszliście, to jest zajebiście. Gitara rytmiczna. Maniek. Gitara solowa. Garnik. I gitara basowa. Wolfi. I gitara perkusyjna. Darek. Gitara wokalowa. Leszek.
Ta, twoja stara. I gitara wokalowa. Michał.
A my jesteśmy 4 dziki. I wielkie dzięki! Zajebiście, że przyszliście. Ja to znam, mówię wam. Jak przyszliście,